This is the social square part where we talk about issues that affect you, but they're not necessarily very serious issues like, oh, referendum, oh,
Mzigo bill.
It's just issues that are social. That's why it's social square. So this morning we're asking you, which one do you think works best? Come we stay or an official wedding? And that's what we'd like to know from you. 22422 is the SMS line. At Trevor Mbija at Citizen TV Kenya at Zinzi_K. Use the hashtag Daybreak. We'd like to sample as many of your feedback as possible because you know the reasons why you prefer one or the other.
Yeah.
Can we stay or a marriage and why? We have couples in the house and also marriage counselors, experts. They will introduce themselves and that's the first question they're going to answer, right? Where do you want to start from? From Dayan or from the middle?
Let's start from Dayan. I normally start whoever has the microphone,
Yeah, so
but it will be weird to start in this at the center. Let's start from
Let's
Dayan.
start like that, then go up.
Yes.
Yeah.
My name is Dayan Masinde. I'm a relationship and marriage counselor. I'm married to one beautiful wife, but the name of Akelo Liech. I'm Ngara Kupo Anatuangalia. Hi, baby. And as a counselor, I respect every couple's journey towards finding love, but personally, I'd go for marriage.
Okay.
Why not come we stay?
Because
When you say marriage, you mean a full-blown wedding?
meaning something that's been officiated, something that's actually, you actually took the time to make it official,
Yes.
and you solemnize it.
So it's a normal white church wedding.
It doesn't have to be white church wedding, because one of the questions I actually ask people whenever I counsel them is that what's your belief system? Are you Christian? Are you Muslim? Are you Hindu? Are you Sikh? Are you African traditionalist?
Yes.
Are you even an atheist? The reason why I ask that is because our belief system informs a lot of our decisions. So it doesn't have to be a church wedding. For me, I'm just for like, because when you're marrying an adult, you're marrying not just them as an adult, you're marrying somebody's daughter, somebody's son, somebody's uncle, somebody's mother. So it has to be also, you have to factor that into consideration, because a marriage in itself is social, it's legal, it's spiritual, it's communal. So factoring all those elements as a support system to work with you, because when you're with somebody that you love, it also affects the people around you. So it's not just about the two of you. You're not in an island.
In fact, that was my main concern there.
Yes.
Is in the marriage supposed to be about the two of you? If I decide that I'm marrying someone and it's a come we stay, what does that have to do with the relatives around them?
First of all, you're marrying somebody who's been raised by some parents. So you have to respect and honor those parents. And then you're also going to have children. Those children are also going to have relatives. So it's about you. It's a private institution, but then it has public influences and consequences. So that's why I'm saying it's not just about the two of you, it's about the two of you coming together. And when you love, of course you're going to love, and as you love, it affects people around you. You're going to have children, those children are going to have uncles, those children are going to have aunties, and it's going to be a growth process.
But not formalizing it doesn't mean that we don't love each other.
Exactly, right? Exactly. Formalizing it, the law works to protect you. The law also works to pretty much make sure that it's secure. And when it comes to come we stay, a lot of the times it tends to be the man's idea. It tends to be the man's idea.
And I was actually going, you see, I've even written that down.
Yes.
You've literally taken the words, because I was going to ask you, does formalization equal commitment from a man's side?
Yes.
Just because we formalized it?
Yes. From a man's perspective, it shows a certain level of seriousness. Commitment. And then now for the woman's perspective, she's also looking for security. But then also it depends on how committed they are. Because a lot of the times, come we stay, I have my own house with my own furniture. I've built it over time. And then you also have yours. Why should I leave mine to come and join yours? Because we are moving into one particular house. Am I coming to yours or are you coming to mine? So that's also put into consideration.
Okay.
MC Baridi?
Start by introducing yourself and then tell us what you think. For you, come we stay or a full-blown marriage, wedding?
Okay, I'm called MC Baridi. I have an organization called Blast. I'm the CEO. I have 47,000 members in this organization. I deal only with youths, mostly in the campuses and outside the campuses. But I'll speak on behalf of the people that I deal with and also on my behalf. I think I love church so much, but I think Come We Stay works for people that I deal with, because I know the responsibility that comes with you want to know the parents, you want to start having, the parent tell you where you coming from, traditional and tribalism, you are coming from Kikuyu, you are coming from Luo, they say so the best thing I see that there's in a campus, they start staying in campuses, we stay together, we share cost, we go to class. they finish campuses, they start now living outside together. So what has happened for so far, and what I know it's happening, and it's happening because I've seen marriages that does big wedding. I think I was discussing this yesterday with a couple back there. They have used even millions of shillings to do wedding. Then after 6 months, 1 month, the wedding just collapses. So if you get a woman and you feel like you love each other, it's not that can we stay. And you know that can we stay start like she visited you over the weekend. She will leave her
she extended
top there to mark a territory, yeah? Then goes, before you know it, within 2 months, the house is full with her clothes, and then, now 1 week I'm not going to work, I stay for 1 week. You know, the other week I can just come from here, go to work, and without you know, before you know it, the baby already coming out there, she's pregnant. Before you know it, now they cannot go, they think that the parents and the house tradition has created this thing very well that when you're pregnant and you're working in society and you don't have a man in your house, people start looking at, why did you go? Why did you do this? So because of the stigma comes around it, you feel like I just need to stay closer with the husband or the father of my kid, even if the relationship is not working, but to protect the tradition and to protect the mindset. Right. And I've seen those marriages work better than this wedding thing and church thing and pastor counseling sessions. Okay. You want to ask your parents, how long have you stayed with another woman? Who was those? It's a problem, but I think to me, can we stay?
Works fantastic. Okay. No, she has her own microphone.
Yes. Thank you. My name is Jennifer Karina. I am a life and leadership coach, a relationship expert, and author of the series Marriage Built to Last. I believe in the institution of marriage, and I believe that marriage ought to be given the honor that it deserves. Marriage is not just about a couple, it is a community, it is a family business. At the end of the day, I would say that marriage has evolved over the years, and we cannot ignore the fact that come we stay has become a popular way of seeing marriage. And in the beginning, marriage was really polygamous, and the societies accepted it as such. But in the 21st century, the definition of marriage seems to be changing. And one of the realities is that societies define marriage in the way that it shall be in that season. And right now, one of the challenges about marriage is that people, young men and women like yourselves, are taking much longer to get married. They are choosing to concentrate a lot more on career, and they want to be economically stable.
Isn't that not okay?
Isn't that
it's a good thing.
It's a good
There's
thing.
nothing wrong with that. You see, the truth of the matter is that when the industrialization age came, women now found empowerment because they found jobs. Women have gone to school. So initially, women were married to serve a man. Not anymore. So we are at the level where women are no longer just looking to serve the man and to bear children. They are looking for love, pleasure, happiness. So do men. That changes the dynamic of marriage absolutely.
Wow.
Why? Because marriage really is intended for a man and woman to come together for economic reasons, political reasons, spiritual reasons. And now we don't look at it that way. We look, I just want to barb of happiness. I need somebody to love me so bad. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether it's come we stay or whatever that we shall do.
So it's the need to be loved.
The need to be loved. And the expense to get married. Because when it comes to marriage, everybody wants that elaborate wedding you bring on wedding show. I think you're some of the reasons why people are not getting married. Because you bring such elaborate weddings. So anybody thinking of marriage wants that ideal marriage. And so people think about the ideal wedding other than the ideal marriage.
People think of the wedding and not the, people think about the wedding but not the marriage.
Yes.
Roberta. Please introduce yourself and your thoughts. Can we stay or marriage?
My name is Roberta.
Hold the microphone closer.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
My name is Roberta Umundi. Roberta Bobby. I'm an erotic blogger. I write about sex and relationships mostly. So my take on this is that I'm a little bit on the fence because I tend to be very liberal. I think that there's no formula. There's no guaranteed way to do things. There's no map as to whether your relationship is going to last longer or whether it's going to do better in terms of, say, when it comes to come-with-stay relationships or white weddings and marriages and things like that. What I feel is, but what I strongly feel still is that there has to be a little bit of foundation, there has to be a little bit of commitment. And when come-with-stay is there, there's no rules, there's no legal implications or consequences, there's no, there's nothing that's backing you down, backing you up, that's gonna say, this is solid. And you see, at the end of the day, like most of my friends here said, it's not just the two of you. There's families joining, there's religions joining, there's babies coming out, there's relatives, it's a whole village, it's a whole family, it's a whole thing coming up. So there's gonna be a lot of consequences if you don't think about whether you want to solidify this thing. So I feel like come-with-stay, in as much as it might work for some people tend to go longer.
You get to interact with young people a lot,
Yeah.
especially university students.
Yeah.
So when marriage or wedding comes up in the conversation, what
Yeah.
do university-going students think? What's their view of marriage?
I feel like this generation is not so much into marriage. The come-with-stay has become an easier way out, which is fine, but you see, again, everything has its consequences.
Isn't that a problem right there? Because then it means that they go into that relationship with the end in mind.
Yes. Yes, that is basically
that
what
then forms
dating
the
is
wrong
like
basis
right
of
now.
getting into that relationship, because
Yeah.
you want to have a come-with-stay so that in the event things go south,
Yeah.
I just walk out without consulting the government. But
Yeah.
why should you go into a marriage thinking that things are going to go south?
That's the problem right there. That's the problem right there. Because we have, like you said, we have the end in mind. And when you're falling in love with someone and you're committing to stay with them, that's not supposed to be the case. That's not supposed to be a thought that you have. But you see, again, it's inevitable. Like I said, some things just happen. It doesn't mean that because you've thought about it, that you're expecting it to happen. So I feel like most kids, most young people who are in relationships right now, those are the things they don't want. They don't want to be tied down like that. They don't want that when the end comes, there's so many things that you need to deal with. But then again, as long as you've been together, and if there's kids in the mix, the problem is still going to be the same.
All right, let's listen to our couple of the day, Bernard and Emily.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm sorry, I have a flu, but I believe in marriage because, as my colleagues have said, some believe in come-with-stay, which I don't believe in it. So maybe because the marriage gives you the satisfaction of the heart, you feel so comforted by your colleague, and you feel that life becomes so smooth and very easy because you cooperate. Each and everything that you have, you share ideas, everything.
So ideally, it's actually the same thing, because come-with-stay and a marriage is just, they're both marriages. The only difference is one is wedding, and the other one, there's no official wedding and there's no official paperwork.
Okay.
So would you go for wedding or just come-with-stay? Because they're still both unions of marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's only that one of them the government is aware, the other one, it's just you.
No, issues to do with the wedding. It depends on how well you are. Because when it comes to the financial status, maybe you don't have cash.
Yeah.
And you want to, others do the wedding in order to make other people happy. And others, they go to the bank to get the loans so that you can even please the society.
Let's hear from Emily. Emily, do you agree? As you also give us your thoughts on come-with-stay and versus wedding.
Okay, my name is Amir, currently attached to NASCOP under communication. Yeah, so from practical point of view of the so-called come-with-stay, it's not actually the come-with-stay, because it always have a foundation. You must have started from somewhere.
So even that Kamiste is not even Kamiste, because that Kamiste has a foundation of its own.
Yeah, even for now, I'll say that we are in that Kamiste, but we started from somewhere. Of course, we had discussed this, and maybe it's because of the financial status or the responsibilities that we have, and we couldn't make it to our legal wedding. Yeah.
So if you had the money, would you have done a church wedding?
We would have gone for it for sure. But because of the responsibilities that we had, we couldn't go for that.
Did you consider traditional marriage? I'm sure your folks know about it, like the whole dowry payment, etc., the traditional side of it?
No, but at least they know.
They know.
Yeah.
All right.
So the parents are aware that you're staying together, but they know you're working on other things to formalize it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the aspect of finances in a relationship. Can't wait to hear from Jennifer and Dayan on that one. Okay.
Jennifer wants
I
to
can't
go
wait
first.
to say this.
Yeah.
You know, finances are good, but they don't determine whether you do get married or not get married.
They don't?
No, because you can choose the method in which you want to get married. For example, if you really, all you need to get married is a witness, is the groom and the bride, the parents, and maybe just the very close family members. Now, that doesn't cost much. We do have sometimes church weddings where it's a Sunday, and after the service, the pastor marries a couple of them. How? There's no expense. The church will have a cake at the end of the service, and everybody will partake of it together.
Okay.
So what we are looking for is the idealistic marriage ceremony, or wedding. We are looking for that idealistic wedding ceremony that costs a lot of money that you go and borrow. 2, if you want a legal marriage, you really just need to put the notice, go there with a witness, and you are married. Now, when you are legally married, it's totally different from come we stay, because you are protected by the law. I have seen enough people who have passed away in a come we stay relationship, and the challenge becomes who buries them, who takes on the property. The wife who has maybe passed away, the husband wants to be the next of kin, and the family says no. So the important thing about legalizing, now it's not just about marriage, it's legalizing the union gives you the security that everybody is looking for.
The financial and legal security.
Exactly. Financial and legal security. Right. I have seen people who have come with stay relationships, and when that one partner leaves, dies, everything shuts down on them. A business they ran together, property they had, everything becomes a challenge.
Because you have no legal
I think the smart thing about being married, forget church wedding, it is legalizing. Now, when you have not had a customary tradition marriage, what are you saying? That the parents have not given consent, because it doesn't cost much. Sometimes it costs nothing but a meal, because you're not able to afford it. And for us, dowry is a lifetime journey. So whatever you have, you visit the home and say, I want your daughter. And you give something. And you keep bringing. But if you have never stepped foot in my home and you want my daughter and you've lived with her, what does that mean? It means I don't know anything. I have not given the blessing. And at the end of the day, to me, it's just another relationship. There is no marriage here.
All right.
Ready? Me, I always speak. I don't go with what people think.
Of course.
Yes.
I only go with my mind and how things happen. First, the generation that we're having right now, I completely agree with the couple. First, the finance is a problem to the generation.
Si basi tuende kanisa, watu wakule mandazi na chai, kila mtu aende home.
There's marriage to the church, right? And there's now staying.
Wedding.
Wedding, there's wedding, and now there's staying.
Yeah.
We are now here, mimi na wewe, for good, forever and ever. That responsibility, it's a problem to the generation that we are having.
To the generation or to the men of this
To
generation?
the men, even to the, that's why.
This generation.
This
Why-
generation. That's why, and let's just say, yes.
We have instances where it's the lady walks away,
Yes.
not just the guys
Yes.
who
Okay,
walk
it was
away.
Because I always say that you have that girl that you have in your house because this girl ajapata the better option like Safaricom than you. That's why she's still there. But when she gets a better option, she will just go. So she's just there because there's no better option.
But isn't that because then your relationship started on the wrong foundation?
Even if you started the right foundation, the foundation that we're having and the foundation that you are building right now in a relationship, that's why a man, you have that lady, but you still look at if there's any challenge or any someone.
But you see, that's why it is the fact that you're waiting and buying time. When she comes across the better option, if you haven't locked and committed, of course she's going to go.
So the committed one, even the women, even the ladies that we're having in this generation, like Roberta said, their mind is that in case of anything, I just check. In my village, I believe, where I'm coming from, Siaya, I believe one thing that I have to go, we see the family, I have to see you and tell you, I want your girl, then I'm going to marry this girl. I think my parents didn't do this thing, so-called wedding and going to the court. My father, I think, just took the cows and the family were happy, and I think that worked for us. But now the problem is this church thing and everything, and then the court, and then we are now like in a prison where I cannot walk out or I can't breathe.
Okay, let me bring in Dayan. Dayan, why has Can We Stay become so popular? I loved what Jennifer said. Jennifer painted for us an image of how marriage has evolved over the years. Different things, the industrialization, revolution, technology. I mean, we can sit the whole day and debate about it. But the whole point is that marriage has moved from polygamy even to based on one-on-one to now what we're saying, moving from a proper wedding to Can We Stay. Why has Can We Stay become so popular?
Actually, when people are talking, I was itching to talk.
Okay,
so let me just start by saying to so many, Can We Stay is a process of dating.
It's
a process of dating. Where you put that, kamu.
For 30 years.
So it starts like that. It starts like that. And usually it starts with the man saying, we just get to know each other, and then I'm going to marry 2 years. So the lady comes in, and then baby number one checks in. Hey. And then because now the man gets comfortable. Why should I marry you, yet you're already living like we're married?
Why do men do that?
That's how it actually starts. And then now, so it continues. So what does happen to the woman? The woman starts to feel like, okay, who am I in this relationship? And you see, sometimes for some men, I'm going to speak to men and I'm going to speak to women. For the men, sometimes they feel like, you know what, I can even do other things because actually we're not married. You're not my wife. You know, so sometimes when you're being introduced, you're even introduced as the woman who stays in my house, not my wife. You know, so you don't have that confidence to actually say, I'm actually somebody's wife or somebody's husband. Now also for the women, because also they find a place of, emotional connection is very, very important. So once you find a place where you have a home where you can actually go, you start over the weekend, and then you go for a week, as you were saying, and then you go for a month. You start getting comfortable over there as a woman, and then now you're with this man who you love, and then this man tells you, me, I'm not for a wedding. You love this guy, so you stay. But
he's telling you 3 years down the line when you already had 2 children.
Yes, and he can actually continue like that. And then guess what? Because you don't feel like you're secure over there, you can easily be pushed out.
Dayan, why do men do that?
But what is wrong with that to begin with?
Why do men do that?
What is wrong
with that?
Why
do men do that? Why do they tell you that they have the intention of marrying you? You even have child number 1, child number 2, 10 years down the line. But
why are we acting like men are not human beings? I mean, they are in that relationship.
What is commitment? What is commitment?
Let me say something. You know, it's very, because once you are as a man, I'd speak to 2 different types of men.
Okay.
There's a man of honor who actually appreciates that, you know what, even right now, I don't have the money. You know, and it doesn't have to be expensive, because let me even tell you something. If you don't even go for that marriage certificate that maybe costs maybe 5K or something like that, max, eventually, when you want to put that woman in part of insurance cover or something like that, guess you're going to look for a lawyer, and then you pay an affidavit that's maybe going to cost you 20,000.
So just do things
So
the
you
right
just
way.
do things the right way. So it actually covers you. You know? It actually covers you. And for a man, why would you want to be with a woman who's also 50-50? You know, you also want to be with a woman who's there 100%. And so it's a level of commitment that we are together in this. And once you get comfortable as a man, and then you start making that woman feel insecure, it also start to go down on yourself, because you start to wonder, like, you know, maybe this was the best option. Because come we stays are easy to live. That's why I tell people, when you're dating somebody, ask them, how many come we stay relationships have you been in?
Hey.
And why did they end? So that you actually get told, you know what, me, I've been with I've stayed with this guy, and then there's guy number 1, guy number 2, or I've stayed with woman number 1, woman number 2. It didn't work out because, we just saw we are not compatible. We just saw that, you know, she couldn't get a child. You know, all kinds of stuff. Or she actually goes ahead and says, you know what, that guy was kichwangumu and all that kind of stuff. So it's easy to break away from a come we stay because it's the emotional connection that actually was holding it together. But then when it comes to now you have a support system, it becomes difficult. For married couples, sometimes when you start to pull away, what happens? Intervention happens because now your parents are calling you. What happened? What is going on? And now you're being told there are children involved. Let's sit down. Let's come together. And then you seek those kind of things. And sometimes for come we stay, what also they don't get to have is the premarital counseling, which also helps. I know some people are saying that come we stays happened and they're more happier because there's no pressure. Yeah. But let me tell you this, even for married couples, the married couples also enjoying their marriages and they don't have any pressure. In fact, when I counsel couples, I tell them, don't put the pressure that this marriage has to work. If you take away that pressure, then your marriage tends to work. For any relationship, once you take away the pressure, whether it's a come we stay relationship or even marriage, once you take away the pressure, it tends to work. But the good thing about a marriage that's actually surrounded by community is that now you have people who can actually call you to check. Okay. And you actually realize that before I go, my goodness, it's a legal process that I don't need to actually get out of this very easily. And so check yourself. Do you want to be in a situation where you're not sure whether you're a husband or wife, or do you want to be in a situation where you're very, very sure we are doing this and we're raising children in a marriage?
Beautiful. Right. We need to get feedback from the rest, but first, let's look at your feedback. You're watching from home, wherever it is, in an Uber, in a piki on there on View Sasa, not sure. But let's take a look at your feedback at Citizen TV Kenya at 22422 is also our SMS line. Let's have them up.
Let's see what you're saying. Nixon Mburu from Kindaruma says, official wedding/marriage, which to me is binding, takes the center stage, but works best when God's principles are involved all through. In a come we stay, and I don't care attitude dominates. Okay.
Miss Ngetich, you say, come we stay breaks easily, but marriage is a true commitment. Brings both clans together. In case of any misunderstanding, both families to sit and solve.
All right. Mutembe from Meru says, marriage is the best option. It is a commitment. Relationship between the couple. Come we stay has no commitment and seems to have no seriousness and is more of a trial.
More of a trial. Evelyn Wafula, all the way from Athi River. I'll let Trevor take this one.
Says, heri come we stay. Kwa sababu mimi nilifunga ndoa na mume wa miaka 54 na mimi mwenyewe niko na 31, lakini yenye nimepitia ni mengi hadi give up na maisha. Nilifunga ndoa mnamo tarehe 10 2019. Natamani talaka niambiwe ni bei ghali, sijui nifanye nini. Wow.
Abel from Eldoret, good morning. You say both a wedding and come we stay have merits and demerits, but I think the cost that comes with a wedding, the majority of the youth cannot afford. Come we stay has an element of surprise.
Element of surprise. You don't leave a name or where you're texting from, but you say there is a misconception here. Not all that is non-church or mosque union is a come we stay. Traditional marriage unions are not come we stay because the two families are fully aware and approved of the union.
Okay. Still sticking on SMS, comment from Eldoret. Happiness is a relative term. In this context, it becomes even more complex. Whichever way this happiness cannot be coerced into the hearts of two. People look for freedom, privacy, independence, and control. This is an escapist mentality. At the core of it is responsibility and no perceptions, devoid of any reality. No wonder the increase in homicides in the country.
Oh, wow.
Or perceptions, rather. Perceptions devoid.
Let's see what else you're saying on SMS. Lucas Winda says, the current generation has commercialized marriage in a way that people only judge a partner with wealth status, not character and family background.
Okay. Eric, you said today, even them that have wedded do fornicate and commit adultery. I don't trust the weddings. They make an oath, but they don't uphold the oath. You find your wife or the husband has mpango wa kando. That's the other thing. Just because you know you've married in church, these things happen.
Yep, we'll get into that in just a bit. And this issue of being comfortable, I'd like to find out what they mean when they say you're comfortable. And on Twitter, let's see what you're saying here. And Tommy says, do what works for you. Come We Stay may be cheaper and doable, but can be vulnerable when you have to prove you've been married when separation knocks. Weddings are the best. Make it affordable and within your means. Okay, Twitter, use the hashtag Daybreak Sam. You say, I believe in the sanctity and institution of the wedding legally, as opposed to the Can We Stay thing, which is a parasitic, lazy, and instead of symbiosis relationship found in marriage. All right. Agumba Steve says the current generation can only thrive best under Can We Stay marriage. Wedding has become expensive and the aftermath very regrettable due to the partner's hypocrisy. So Can We Stay is the order of the day.